Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Live Leak. It's your favorite host here, Ken, and today we're going to talk about the blockchain and cryptocurrency conference NAC3 that just occurred in New York City this past weekend, February 24th. So I was lucky enough to attend this conference. It was my first blockchain conference meetup that I've ever been to, and it was really cool that it was in New York City. Got to travel from Boston to New York and basically spend the weekend out there participating in this conference. So it looks like the hosts or the main speakers for this conference were all YouTubers that basically talk about cryptocurrency. We had David Hay, Crypto Bobby, and Crypto Bud, if you guys are familiar with them. They were the main keynote speakers at this event, along with Nick Spanos, who is, if you guys have ever watched the Bitcoin documentary, he's very outspoken character, early investor in Bitcoin infrastructure. He set up one of the first Bitcoin exchanges right next to Wall Street, actually, in New York. So great meeting Nick Spanos, and thank you for the picture, Nick. I'll throw that up here in this video as well. So before we start, I also want to thank some of the people that were kind enough to give me their business cards, and I'll also just show you their websites in the background here. So first person was Joel Johnson, and his company was humans.net. And he's the investor relations director over there. So if you guys want to check out humans.net, it looks like they got a lot of great things going on. It makes an easy way for people to connect with other people in a way they want to work with them. So check out humans.net for my friend Joel there. So second person was Alpha Block, was the company, and Richard Lee was a nice gentleman that I met there. Alpha Block basically invests in the best and most innovative entrepreneurs around the globe, and it helps them succeed and reach their full potential. So thank you, Richard, and be sure to check out his website, alphablock.com. And next, actually was able to meet Jarrett Lane, and his website, howardhughes.com, looks like it has some more to do with real estate. If you want to go ahead and check that out, again, it's howardhughes.com. And then lastly, we had Hans Lombardo from BlockPass. Very interesting stuff. I'll go into more detail with what BlockPass does shortly as well. So diving right into it, this was the conference. Let me just pull up all the speakers here. So as you see in the background, these are some of the speakers that talked on Saturday for this conference, and I'll just go over what exactly it was they said. So first to start out the conference, we had my guy, Nick Spanos, as you see right here, with the bow tie. He basically started out saying that, banking on Bitcoin, he was big on banking on Bitcoin. That seemed to be his most, the coin that he was most vested in. Battle against the Fed. She showed his renegade attitude by, letting out some F-bombs and showing some slideshows about himself, investing in that early exchange next to Wall Street and basically doing everything he could just to piss the Fed off. He was a Ron Paul advocate recently where he helped him with his campaign. And he was big about, innovation without permission. And he came off as a big, constitutional rights believer, referencing, our founding fathers would be sick if they saw how the Fed controlled the monetary system as it was today. Next, it was Crypto Bobby, Rob Peone, right here. He's got over 120,000 subscribers on YouTube, so he's very successful doing basically what I do, just giving some news and updates on cryptocurrency. And what he said is he looks to find people with specific talents that can mesh with your weakness. When forming a business, find people that have specific talents that can mesh with your weaknesses. So if you're strong at A and weak at B, maybe it's good to partner with someone who's good at B, for example. He also did touch some on the regulatory issues that are coming up. I think he referenced some about the SEC and CFTC conference they had with the Senate, and he was very good. I talked to him afterwards and asked him, when was the moment you sort of had your big break on YouTube? And he said it was relatively early in the videos he was posting. In the first month and a half of his channel, he had a few videos reach 700,000 views, and that's really what catapulted him in this field of YouTube cryptocurrency news. Next up, we had David Hay. He is right here. You'll see him with that smile. And, he actually focused a lot on Venezuela's ICO and the Petro, and about how the government in Venezuela is really robbing the citizens by, having this hyperinflation by printing too much of their dollar. So they've actually lost 95% of the value of their dollar in terms of global relation over the past year. So he mentioned, he has his wife that's Venezuelan, he has his father-in-law that's Venezuelan that he talks to all the time, and he gave many examples about how the Venezuelan dollar is so worthless nowadays that people are actually using it for toilet paper because it's cheaper to actually use the monetary note than it is to go out and spend it on toilet paper. So it's crazy. People are doing all sorts of things like making arts and crafts out of the money, making purses out of folded dollars, the Venezuelan dollar. Then he also touched, there was a bordering city with Colombia, I believe it was, Caraco. Correct me if I'm getting that wrong, but he wanted to actually implement a system where he gave everyone a bit of salary, a 2-week salary, like it was like $1.97 a week they make down there. So he was going to give them 2 weeks salary in cryptocurrency and basically send them off on their own and let them trade that cryptocurrency with each other and create their own marketplace, basically. So these are people that are in refugee camps that have nothing to do all day, and instead of just giving them tents and food, he wants to teach them how to fish, basically. Don't give a man fish, he'll be hungry the next day. Teach a man how to fish, he'll never be hungry again, that kind of thing. And he wanted to give them cryptocurrency to start creating a new ecosystem that doesn't include a hyper-inflated monetary aspect. So very interesting. If you want to learn more about that, you can reach out to David Hay on his YouTube channel or his website. Alright, and next up we had Deepa here from airswap.io, and she was basically a programmer for the decentralized exchange AirSwap, and she was just basically promoting just her decentralized exchange that they were building and the different advantages that decentralized exchanges carry compared to centralized exchanges. Including the fact that they don't actually take fees on the transactions. It's up to the users and the participants to just actually use the amount of gas that it takes to execute the transaction for swapping the tokens. So a lot of people believe that 2018 will be the year of the decentralized exchange. So very interesting. I'd keep an eye on airswap.io if I were you guys. Might be something that could become a big exchange in the future. And next we had Ashley Turing, who flew in from a conference in India, I think he was saying, and he came right to this conference here, and his big company was LiveTree Adept, and basically what they are is a sort of a video platform, a streaming platform where they allow you to basically turn the liability of storing video into an asset using blockchain. He mentioned there are ways for producers and directors to get content into their marketplace and have exposure to producers to buy that content and sponsor that content without going to the big monopoly that is Hollywood. He also mentioned that there was like sort of a crowdsourcing aspect to his platform where people could use the new token being created, the seed token that's also being offered for his ICO. For LiveTree Adept, and users can actually vote on certain projects they would like to see produced using their seed token. So that would be another aspect in comparison to the marketplace on his platform, LiveTree Adept. So very interesting. Actually, someone in the crowd spoke up after Ashley was done speaking and basically alerted everyone to really pay attention to this sector, and there could be some big players emerging in the coming years. So keep an eye on that, LiveTree Adept. Could be a good competitor to Flixo, something like that we already see out there. And of course, Netflix. And next up we had Crypto Bud. You'll see right here, Ivan Leon. Crypto Bud, he has over 65,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he was talking a lot about he was focusing a lot on technical analysis. He did say he did some ICO reviews, coin reviews, but he was a big trader. He said that he does work a 9 to 5, and he initially started his own YouTube channel as a diary, just sort of to help him work through the trades that he was making. I believe he was some sort of a swing trader, a scalping trader. He does a bunch of different methods, but he does use some technical analysis. And he was very well spoken, seemed like he was very knowledgeable on trading aspect of things, so I would highly recommend you guys check out his channel, Crypto Bud. Alright, and next up we had Jason Cavalieri. You'll see right here, he was sort of a legal expert. He had just finished legal studies at UCLA, I believe, and he did present some interesting information. Basically, he provided a way for traders to sort of hide themselves from the IRS. He did preface his speech by saying he's not a legal advisor and, don't take any of his advice. The same kind of preface that we all give on our channels, basically. But what he said was, if you actually use shapeshift.io, let's say you bought some Bitcoin on Coinbase and you wanted to invest it in an altcoin. He says the best way to do that, to hide from any kind of IRS tracking or tracking in general, would be to send that Bitcoin to shapeshift.io, transfer it into a privacy asset such as Monero or Zcash or Bitcoin Private, and then transfer it back into a different wallet into a new asset. Doing this process, you would basically wash the paper trail of your asset. So the IRS, in his mind, would have no way on tracking the profit and loss you made on the altcoin. They would only know that you bought in fiat currency into that one Bitcoin initially. And they would also know when you converted back into fiat currency. But in the meantime, you could convert into any kind of altcoin using that washing method through a privacy coin, and sort of your profit and loss would be hidden because there'd be no paper trail. So very interesting stuff from Jason Cavalieri. And you guys can just search him on Google, and you could probably reach out to him for some more information on that if you'd like. Next we had Paul, one of my favorite presenters, and he was the most developmental, heavily presenter that was there, and he represented Polyswarm. They're basically an IT security on the blockchain, and it looks like they were sort of doing like a formal verification on smart contracts to test their security and prove their usefulness, make sure there were no loopholes. I guess this would be very useful for financial companies looking to use smart contracts and transact on the blockchain. They would want to sort of use his company as a third party to make sure that any kind of smart contract they're creating was secure. Polyswarm.io, and it'd be great to actually look. They're having an ICO as well, but U.S. investors can't participate. Their token is going to be called the Nectar token. So they're actually encouraging people to upload malware to their website so they can stress test their network. So very interesting. If you guys are outside of the U.S. and want to participate in that, head on over to Polyswarm and check that out. And then, as you know, we did have some other speakers as well, and it wrapped up with the three main speakers. These guys here, we had David Hay, Crypto Bobby, and Crypto Bud. They did a 3-member panel where we just sort of all asked them questions. And if you want to see that 3-member panel interview, it's about an hour long, and David Hay just uploaded that to his YouTube channel, so I'll give the link below. You guys can go check that out. And I do want to note, from this list here, the only member that did not show up was this Randall Trazaka, and it looks like he's from the channel Crypto Love. I was actually looking forward to meeting him and was kind of bummed out that he didn't show up, so yeah, no Randall. But it was great meeting everyone at this conference. I gave out a lot of the business cards that I had made, and I hope that if you're watching and you were there meeting me, that you would reach out to me, and maybe we can do some collaboration on some of the videos in the future. Otherwise, it was great meeting everyone. It was a great opportunity to network, and I highly recommend the NAC3 conference for anyone who's beginner or intermediate or even a blockchain expert at this point. It was great to get out there and network with a lot of the people there, and it was highly beneficial for networking. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video review of the NAC3 blockchain conference, and please stay tuned for future video updates. Thank you guys for watching. Take care until next time.